Hey, I'm Zedasage Plays. Welcome to the most accurate and, to be quite frank, astonishing Planet Zoo recreation that I've ever seen, London Zoo 1904. This is a complete recreation of London Zoo as it stood in 1904. It's been built by the incredible Ralph, who actually works at London Zoo and was kind enough to give us an exclusive look at this zoo. From up here, you can see just how extensive and amazing this zoo is. It features 1,000 animals. It's absolutely blown my mind. I cannot wait to get in here. Let's check it out. Well, here we are at the entrance to London Zoo. Not looking too dissimilar to how it looks today. Let's go in. Across the road. Still got this trellis here at the moment. You can see already how amazing this looks. It's so detailed. I've spent quite a bit of time in the zoo filming the cinematic shots you'd have seen in the intro. This is the first time actually walking around it, so I'm really excited to see this. First thing you'll notice if you've been to London Zoo is how different it looks without the big mapping terraces, the fake mountains that are normally in front of you here, or the reptile house that normally sits there. And yeah, this is what London Zoo looked like in 1904. It took Ralph 3 years to build this, and as we go around and see the level of detail in this zoo, you will not be surprised. Some of the zoo's most famous buildings were already in place at this point, and we'll be taking a look at those throughout the course of this tour, along with the almost unbelievable extent of the animal collection they had back then. We're going to start here at the Western Aviary. This, as you can see, is a very extensive aviary. Lots of small aviaries for birds, and then a larger one here. It's really beautiful. If you're new to Planet Zoo, there are no flying birds in Planet Zoo, so we've got some little bird models here. But all the rest of the animals that aren't little flying birds are present and correct. It's really leafy here. Really attractive. The level of detail in this build, honestly, it is just insane. Ralph has done an incredible job. Got some more little aviaries around here. And if we head down here, we will see our first real animals, so to speak, in a row of monkey cages. So you were going to see some beautiful stuff in this zoo, and you were also going to see some stuff that is pretty horrific. This is 1904. Animal welfare was not what it is now. So these monkey cages, this is the macaque's little home, if you can call it that. More of a prison, really. But this is how zoos, especially London Zoo, was run almost 125 years ago. The zoo was originally set up for scientific study, and the object was to try and get pretty much every species of animal in the world, or a representative of each group in the world, in the zoo. Well over 1,000 animals, and yeah, you're going to see some less than ideal animal welfare here, let's be honest. But check this out. Little lawn of porcupines. There's a whole little rodent area over here. We're not going to look at everything in the zoo, I'm just going to show you the highlights. But I thought this was really cute. Look at them just wandering around on their lawn. Behind them you can see what was known at the time as the new ape house. That's new by 1904 standards. So let's go and check that out. There's a lot of really nice formal lawns and planting in the zoo. Lots of space for people to walk around. That there is the Stork and Ostrich house, which technically is still in the zoo today, if you know where to look. Let's go and check out the new ape house. If you're a fan of red brick, you're going to be a big fan of this zoo. It is the predominant building material throughout. Some really magnificent Victorian buildings here. I love this floor as well. Look at that. And yeah, this is the new ape house. So it would have just been heated cages behind glass. This was shortly before the zoo sort of realised that actually most animals, or a lot of animals at least, are perfectly happy to be kept outside, even in British temperatures, as long as they've got somewhere warm to retreat to. But we're still in the era here of tropical animals being kept firmly indoors behind glass, which, as you can see from the habitats, is certainly not the best way to keep them. Poor things. I love some of the details here as well. Like, look at this painting on the wall of the apes. So what we've got in here, we've got some gibbons, orangs, chimps, and a little gorilla as well. Beautiful detailing throughout. That is going to be very much a feature of this tour. At the Stork and Ostrich house next door, this habitat in some shape or form was in the zoo for many years, probably over 100 years I think. There were smaller birds like these peafowl on one side. There's viewing on the inside. I like this, a little stuffed kiwi with its egg. And there's a real kiwi down here. There he is. Rare as well. And then on the other side of the building were enclosures for larger birds, like ostrich, etc. Correspondingly larger habitats. You can see some away over there. And past there we come to the southern ponds for waterfowl. Got a little swan, tiny little pond there. And then behind them the sea lion ponds. So they had all sorts of pinnipeds in here, sea lions, grey seals, you can see them over there. Wow, they are massive. One of the things I found in this zoo are some little penguins. One of the things I found in this zoo is when you keep animals in tiny habitats like this, where you can get really close to them, you get a real sense of just how big they are. Look at those. There's also sea lions, who will be fed at 4:30 PM. Little chair there for the keeper to sit on and feed them. Such a weird mix of strangely beautiful architecture, gorgeous old trees, and horrific habitats for the animals. It's so interesting to look at it though. And behind all of this is one of the most famous buildings in the zoo at that time, the Lion House. This at the time was probably the most famous zoo, I don't know what you'd call it, habitat, probably not the right word, enclosure or building in any zoo in England. And you'll see why in a second. Some beautiful Victorian architecture. And then here, pretty much every species of big cat just in a cage. Lion and leopard in the same cage. We've got tigers. Beware of pickpockets. Got a jaguar, black panther, more subspecies of tiger, and then cheetah at the end. So you can imagine just sitting down on a seat here and being able to just see all the big cats on the planet spread out in front of you. And in a world much less troubled by animal welfare, I don't think the sizes of the cages would have overly bothered you. And then outside, they have outdoor cages as well. The big cats were obviously seen to be hardier than the monkeys in terms of being allowed outside. I have to say there is something beautiful about this building. Not that I would want the big cats in a zoo to be kept here anymore, but it must have been an amazing experience to come here. These days, London Zoo's got probably the best lion habitat I've ever seen, but it must have been amazing to be this close to lions. Across the beautiful lawn from the Lion House is the Carnivore Terrace. When London Zoo was first built in the 1820s, this was one of the centerpieces of the zoo. This is where the fashionable ladies and gentlemen of the day would walk along to see and be seen. What's weird is underneath here is a huge collection of bears and hyenas, which we will go and take a look at. And here we are, just below that terrace is this long line of cages for bears and hyenas. Must have been very noisy here. So many animals, look at the poor bears. It just makes me kind of sad looking at that. There's even polar bears over here. And this tiny little cage. They do have a little pool, but I'm not sure how happy that's going to keep them. Oh, look at that little lock. Just love the detail of that padlock there. At the other end of the terrace, you may have noticed a bun on a stick as we walk past. And the reason for that is so that you can feed the bear, which is being kept in the bear pit. Poor thing. I think in 1904, even back then, the bear pit was kind of outdated. But yeah, the idea was he would climb the pole and be fed buns on sticks. These days, even with all of this size, London Zoo doesn't even keep bears anymore. I don't really think they've got the space for it. So it shows you how much times have changed since then. On the other side of that terrace is the Camel house. This building is still in the zoo today, with a big clock tower on it. Unsurprisingly, it doesn't hold camels anymore. It's just kind of scenery these days. But this is what it used to look like back in 1904. This is another one of the buildings that was in the zoo since day one. And behind there we come to a set of two beautiful aviaries. The Eastern Aviary, which is still in the zoo today, although it's been heavily redesigned from here. And the Great Aviary, which is no longer in the zoo. But I think for 1904 standards, this is a really, really cool aviary. There's a lot going on in there. Got flamingos, ibis, all sorts of birds in here. Really nice high construction, so the birds can actually fly as well. And then, like I say, the Eastern Aviary is still in the zoo. You can see that building, and then a much more modern aviary attached to the front of it, a lot bigger. Next up is the Fellows Tea Pavilion. This is where the Fellows of the Zoological Society of London could come for tea in the zoo. When the zoo first opened, they were the only people allowed in, the public were not. And then later on, in order to raise money, they decided to let the public into the zoo as well. And this little area was kept reserved for the Fellows of the Society. Got a sheep yard here as well. Some rock work for them to climb on. Little bandstand here. And some camel rides. Got elephant rides over there as well. And then a llama house here. And something I noticed when I was walking around the zoo is there's a little cottage away around here, which is where the keepers could live if they were sort of on site. So we got this gorgeous little pond here, and then you can just see in the distance the keeper's house. That connects back out onto the main road where we started our tour. What a cool little place to work. Next to a little tea room for the guests here. You might recognise this, it became a parrot house. And this wall with that little 1869 sign on it is still in the zoo now, near Penguin Beach, is a house I wish was still in the zoo, or a modern version of it at least, the Diving Bird's house. So this house was for, as the name suggests, diving birds, birds that hunt underwater, and it was actually designed so you could see them hunting underwater, which for 1904 is a seriously impressive concept. Looks amazing. And the last thing that we're going to look at on this side of the zoo is the reptile house. We'll make our way there now, past this cute little otter's cage. I mean, not up to modern standards, but by the standards of this zoo in 1904, I think the otters have got a pretty decent habitat. There's another aviary there. We've got the civets house here. It's a really beautiful little building there, unless you're one of the animals inside it. And past a whole load more aviaries. And Three Island Pond, which is still in the zoo. Have flamingos and pelicans here now. We come to the Reptile House. This was one of the latest buildings in the zoo in 1904, I think, if I recall correctly. And by the way, if you want much more historical knowledge than I can give you, then make sure you check out Ralph's own tour of this zoo, because that guy is the expert. We've got some beautiful little implied habitats here. The southern mud frog and various other reptiles. But it's in here that's my favourite part. Wow. Look at those gators and caimans in this pond. Perfect health and safety. We've got a like 6-inch long bar there, that's fine. There's another one over here for Cuvier's dwarf caiman by the looks of it. This is really cool. I've been to a reptile house that still looks a bit like this in the Jardin des Plantes in Paris, which is obviously it's been redesigned slightly to give the crocs more room, but it still looks very much like this, and it is an awesome experience going in there. London Zoo's now on to, I think, their 4th reptile house, maybe 5th, The Secret Life of Reptiles and Amphibians. It is amazing, one of the best reptile houses I've ever been to. So, as beautiful as this is, the new one is certainly better for the animals, and there's a lot more rare and interesting species in it. Next to the reptile house is the tortoise house. Certainly well stocked with tortoises. and a really cute little building. That's the first part of London Zoo. Let's make our way through the tunnel here under the road where we started our tour and make our way into the central and northern part of the zoo. I love how not only has Ralph built the zoo itself, he's also built the road and the canal that runs through it, along with quite a sizable chunk of London itself, so wherever you put the camera, you always feel like you're still in London Zoo and still in 1904. This is the central part of the zoo, and as well as being connected to the southern part we just came from with the tunnel under the road, there's also a bridge over the Regent's Canal to take you to the northern part of the zoo, and that's where we're going to go next. This bridge is still in the zoo now, and you can see here all the way down the Regent's Canal, even some boats on there. More detailing. And on the north bank of the zoo, it is mainly birds over here, and a really beautiful insect house that we'll go and take a look at in a second. So there was aviaries for owls, and then all the way along there and along here was pheasants and cranes. Lots and lots of different species. You can see some of them there. And then just coming up round the corner is the insect house. So let's go and check that out. This building is absolutely stunning on the inside. Nice little sort of greenhouse design or glass house. Inside, really nice. Got some tropical birds. Lots of plants. And then little displays for insects here. I love this sort of Victorian style of building. Got some pupa there. If you listen, you can actually hear sounds of insects. Ralph's put speakers in various parts of the zoo, like in the parrot cages and in this insect house, so you can get a flavour of what it sounded like at the time. Pretty much every building in the zoo has a full interior like this. This is possibly the most beautiful. It's certainly my favourite that I've seen, but I would highly recommend going to the workshop and downloading the zoo for yourself so you can see the whole thing. It is so good. Alright, let's leave the insect house. From outside you get a really beautiful view across the rest of the zoo. There was only one way to and from this part of the zoo back in 1904. The zoo has 2 tunnels and 2 bridges these days. So if we make our way back towards the bridge, we can go and see the largest animals in the zoo, the elephants and the hippos. We'll just take a quick look at the kangaroo paddocks here. You can see one away over there. And then we'll make our way down the main path here. There was all sorts of animals on this side of the zoo. Anteaters, small mammals house, sloth's house, the parrot's house, which you can see here. And you can hear here. Big row of them on sticks there. That's such a nice touch, putting the speakers in. But we'll make our way around here to the larger mammals house. Got elephants here. This part of the zoo you might recognise if you've been to London Zoo. It's now the Into Africa section, but some of it remains, although it's a lot bigger and a lot better than this now. But yeah, this is where the elephant lived. And back in 1904 at London Zoo, not only could you look at the elephants here, on the other side of the zoo, you could ride them. This is where you climbed on for your elephant ride by the main lawn. Back on the north bank, next to the elephant, was Indian rhino. Some more sheep here. Another one of those massive aviaries in the background. There's some meerkats in here. Lots more deer. Wow, some really, really tiny habitats. Again, this would have been an attempt to get the vast majority of species of deer in the world into the zoo. There's a very cute habitat here, a beaver pond, which I actually really like. Obviously it should be bigger, but it's actually a really cute habitat. You certainly get a good view of the beaver. And then on to the final part of our tour, which is the hippo and giraffe house. This building is still in the zoo today and still holds a giraffe in it. The hippo is long gone, and this whole area is being redesigned so the giraffes have a hell of a lot more room than they have here. But this house here is the oldest zoo building in the world that still holds its original animals. I think it dates to 1826, if my memory serves. And those huge giraffe-sized doors are one of the most iconic sights in the zoo. It's amazing to think you can essentially have the same view today as people did 200 years ago. There's also some zebra down here, and I think they had a carpy around here as well. The building has an indoors as well. And again, this is another view you can have a very similar one to today. And that is London Zoo 1904. What an incredible build. Thank you so much to Ralph for allowing us to tour it. I'm going to show you the entire zoo from the air here. If you want to explore it yourself, you can download it on the workshop now. The link is in the description. There's also a link to Ralph's own channel where you can see individual buildings of this zoo toured in much more detail. And if you want to see London Zoo as it stood about 80 years after this build, then check out this tour of my build of London Zoo 1985. It's on screen now. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you again very soon for some more Planet Zoo.